constantly shifting through the time-space continuum, Metron's three disciples observe the universe from the Mobius Couch.
Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, you open the door and you're here in my heart, and my heart will go to the Mobius Couch, a time-space interdimensional vehicle from which your three hosts talk about cake, all things cake. Today's topic is, of course, Chris Hemsworth. We just got new beach pics, new candid beach pics. Great glute work on there. Pat, Joe, how do you feel? How do you feel about cake?
I mean, honestly, I can't wait to dive into this topic, but it does feel like it's the wrong one.
Does it really? Let me look at the couch control.
Let me
beep boop.
A little bit.
Beep boop. Boop, boop, boop. The Mobius Couch, where we talk about comic books, comic books. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, the dials of the couch got a little bit wonky. We were in the wrong dimension, but we're here, and we're here to talk about Absolute Superman, which is a comic book. Before we get into that, before we get into Absolute Superman,
I have a note that I want to talk about as well. Go ahead.
Well, before we get into that, I want to introduce your three hosts sitting on the Mobius Couch. That is, of course, me. I am Kal-El of Krypton. And joining me today are, of course,
Lollipop Guild
of the Lollipop Guild of Krypton.
Yeah.
And joining me, of course, is Pa-El
of the Science Guild. That's me.
That's right.
Patrick.
Pat-El.
It should be Pat.
Well, then it'd be like Patel. I don't know. It just seemed like
Patel is.
Well, her name is Lara L.
But okay.
You know,
Lara. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's Lara Zor-El, isn't it?
Lara Zor-El. Oh yeah, I guess. And
Kara Zor-El.
Forget it.
I don't know. I don't know the
Kara
surname.
Zor-El.
Yeah, that's the cousin part, Patty.
Well, it's Is it Kara or Kara? It's Kara.
It's Kara.
Kara. No, but Lara, whatever. Lara Zor-El.
We'll get to that.
Is the cousin part of Kara Zor-El.
We'll get to that.
I thought Jor-El and Zor-El were related. I didn't think it was.
No, Zor-El
that were related.
It's got to be because the L, right? So Zor-El and Jor-El have to be brothers.
But it's Kara Zor-El.
Incorrect. Correct.
Really?
Zor-El is,
So they're brothers-in-law.
Maybe.
Jor-El and Zor-El.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
But also joining
at least in this universe.
I don't know how the naming conventions of the Kryptonian families work.
I'll Wikipedia in the meantime. I'll Wikipedia. But also joining Pa-El and Al-El is, of course, Joel. Hey, Joel.
Hi. I'm from the Labor Guild. Hey guys. Hey.
Fucking Labor Guild.
Hey, Pat-El. Hey, Al-El.
Hi.
Al-El. That's that one's
Al-El.
Yeah,
the Labor Guild is definitely the lowest on the totem pole.
It's the lowest of the low.
We got the Science Guild is, of course, the top. They set the
every
rules,
time one of them
right
walks by, I
is
spit on them.
Guild.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah. And right under is the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah, of course.
We provide lollipops, which is
that's it.
Useful.
That's it.
Useful. More useful than labor.
Schoolyards, which is questionable.
I mean, more useful than labor. I'll tell you that.
So, if you're watching this on YouTube, one of the many things that you're able to tell about me is my obsession with toys, because there are many behind me, and comic books. But it's something you guys don't do as much, or at least as much. You dabble a tiny bit, maybe. You get something here and there. But Todd McFarlane has had the license for DC for a long time to make action figures, but they're like slightly larger than all my other toys. So I can't stand them and I don't buy them unless a specific one comes out. And I just got this little guy right here.
Oh shit!
Just for this show.
Metron.
That's all. I was like, I can't not get Metron on the Mobius chair. Like, I got it. So, like, I just bought this for no reason other than just be like, I just want that chair. But that's it. And if you're on YouTube, you can see it. But if you're not, you can just look up Metron and Mobius chair from McFarlane Toys, and you'll see what I'm holding up. But that's it. I'm just gonna. I don't know where I'll put him, but at some point he'll be behind us, hanging out,
just observing.
Just
Learning.
observing. Just observing.
But so, ladies and gentlemen, like we talked about, we are going to talk about Absolute Superman, which is Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval did the writing and art, respectively. And this is the Superman title of the new all DC All-In Absolute Universe. The Absolute Universe is, of course, a mirror universe where, whereas Superman is the linchpin of the mainline universe, Universe Prime or whatever, Darkseid is the linchpin of the Absolute Universe. So it's a little grittier, a little darker, a little dimmer and sadder, because it's devoid of the light.
Yeah, they're devoid of the hope.
This is the Omega
Superman.
universe, right? And so we're going to be talking about issues 1 through 6, which are collected in the, what is it, Dust of Krypton? What's the collection called? The first volume called?
The Last Dust of Krypton.
The Last Dust of Krypton, because it's not the last sound of Krypton. I guess it's the last.
It's not the. It's just last.
But this is it's a.
1 through 5
brand
is
new,
really the story. There's an epilogue issue at the end, but it's basically all part of the same.
Right, and this is a brand new Superman, like you've never seen him before. Everything's turned upside down. The things you thought you knew about Superman are not what you thought you knew about him. It's all different now. He's different, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Patty, you mentioned that your overall take is negative, mostly.
I mean, it's not overall it just didn't do anything for me at all. Good or bad. It was a very kind of like, I understood what they were doing. I didn't think the execution was great. I thought Wonder Woman that we covered last episode, like Kelly Thompson, I thought did a very good job of giving her a whole new backstory and world that was really interesting, a new power set. But at the core, the character was still like, I identified that as this is Wonder Woman. Whereas this character as Superman, like he's so different from the mainstream Superman, in my opinion, that it was hard for me to see him as, a Clark Kent, which he's not. He never goes by Clark in this, but he was so different that it just seemed like a completely different character. And I think I understood what they were doing. I think they were really focusing on the fact that he's an alien and not, he wasn't raised in Smallville, so they might have been doing a nature versus nurture thing there, like showing he's a little bit more. He's still Superman. He's not trying to kill anybody, but his morals are a little bit more shaky. You're not exactly sure which way he's going to go. But that's also because he's seen corruption both on Earth and Krypton. I think he seemed a lot younger than Wonder Woman as well. So that was also, I felt like I was reading about Superboy more so than Superman.
Okay.
It just felt like a complete different character to me. And I appreciate what they were trying to do with like the political allegory and kind of like even the religious allegory with Krypton is like a people of science, but the Science Guild has become so corrupt that they're kind of like stifling science and progress and destroying the planet.
Yeah.
And then on Earth, it's just very typical like capitalism, the rich exploiting the poor, and we're destroying our planet. And I just, I don't know. It just didn't really. I understood what they were trying to do, and I guess it works, but like. It just wasn't Superman to me. I just felt like it was a completely different story with the same names as those characters. I mean, the one positive thing I will say is that I really liked the Jor-El and his like seeing his parents on Krypton and being part of the working class. I liked that backstory for them more so than any other iteration I've seen them in, as far as them being like kind of royal family, whatever. Yeah. I really liked the time they spent with Lara, making her more of kind of like the more alpha action centered. I'm going to get shit done. She had more masculine traits, I think, than Jor-El did. And that kind of goes into, a Freudian thing there because Lois in this universe reminded me of a lot of Lara. So there's that I thought was cute. So like the L's, I enjoyed all that stuff. I just overall story didn't do it for me. The art, I think, was good. I think the colors they chose, and again, this is probably intentional, but like Krypton was hard to look at. Like the intense greens and reds and purples, it just looked, it was like painful to look at. So the art, and then when he's on Earth, a lot of the art, the coloring is very like dark, dingy atmospheres, which again is probably the point. They're probably trying to make it seem very, world omega.
Yeah,
but I didn't connect with a single character really in the entire book. So I don't know. Not good or bad. It just didn't really speak to me.
All right. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Al, you want to
go? Yeah. So my take was pretty lukewarm on it. As a standalone comic on itself, I thought it was pretty readable, and I kind of liked the heavier sci-fi elements going on. So for that, I thought it was pretty digestible. As a Superman reimagining, I just found it kind of uninteresting. I get what they were trying to do because, like, mainstream Superman is a mature rock of principle and a guiding light for the whole DC. And they just went the opposite. Like, this is a barely no longer teenager, cannot even really control his powers. His heat vision explodes out of him. He needs an AI like robot cape to help keep him in check and control him. He's just kind of more wild and unruly than the Superman we're used to. So I get that as kind of a turning everything on its head, and this is the new Superman we get. But I just kind of, as the Superman reimagining, I found it a little uninteresting from that angle. To Patrick's point, this gets really Freudian. I mean, Superman's always had a weird thing with, like, Lana Lang, Lois Lane. His mom's name is Laura. He loves, like, L alliterative people. But this one, Lois is his mother. They're the same. They look the same and act the same. Like, it's very Freudian that if they don't really have a romance going on in the first 6 issues.
Yeah.
But if we go down that road in this universe as well, and they hook up, like, this is super Freudian, which is, I guess, interesting enough, but it's kind of weird. The art, I thought the art was fine. I will say, in Rafa's defense, he did both inking and color work. He did it all, which is, a lot of work to do. And also, he was not the original planned artist for this book.
Oh, really?
It was actually going to be another, I'll look his name up in a minute because I forgot, but a Brazilian artist. But there was, like, flooding in his hometown, so he couldn't do it. So basically, weeks before they announced this title, they brought on Rafa Sandoval to do the art. So to Patrick's point, I don't know if maybe the short on-ramp that he had affected his art. I thought it was fine. It didn't stand out as particularly stylized, or it stuck out as something I'll remember in the future, but I thought it was a good kind of modern, gritty comic color palette and art style for this kind of reimagining. I thought it was fine. And yeah, that's pretty much my overall take. I think I'm more positive on it than Patrick was, but I certainly didn't think this really stuck out as, wow, this is a book to watch and I have to keep reading this. But I thought it was readable and pretty enjoyable. And one thing I want to push back on a little bit, Patrick, is the point you made about Wonder Woman and KT. And first of all, KT knocked Absolute Wonder Woman out of the park.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's by far of the Trinity. That's by far
no argument there. But that idea that Kelly Thompson captured the core of Wonder Woman and Jason Aaron did not with Superman, I want to push back a little bit, because even though this Superman, as we mentioned, is a little younger, a little more adolescent and hormonal and out of control than the Superman we're used to, Kal-El in this book is still very focused on helping the common man.
Yeah.
On putting his life in danger. When we first meet Kal-El, he is drained of energy. Saul, his AI computer, is telling him, you've drained yourself of energy, because he spent the past several days in a dark mine doing the work of 100 miners so they don't have to. So even though this is like a grittier, again, unruly, wild interpretation of Superman, that core of selflessness and needing to help people and wanting to be that shining light forward, even though he's a little bit more Man of Steel hesitant, but still, I do think that core of selflessness is there. And so I do think Jason Aaron stuck to that. And so I wanted to kind of add a little bit more nuance to Patrick's point, but I do think that core of Superman is present here as well. So that's all right. Anyway, I'm done. I'll stop talking, Joe. You can go for
You kind of hit most of the things. That's what I was going to say as well. I think there's still elements of Clark that are, or Kal-El, because he, like Patty said, he's not really Clark in this, but I think there's elements of who he is in his core that's there. I really liked the time he spent. It was kind of neat that he didn't come to Earth as a baby. I like that he was spending time on Krypton, and he got to know his parents, and like he got to know like their position within their society on Krypton, and that's kind of why he empathizes with the oppressed and downtrodden on Earth as well. So like it's not just like I'm this beacon of hope and I'm looking out for the common man. It's just that like he's like, I am one of them, so like of course I'm going to watch out for them. Like this company, or like the Lazarus Company on Earth, is doing the same thing that the Science Guild to my planet, you know, kind of thing. So like I think there's a lot of like similarities there, which I kind of enjoyed. I really liked the time we spent on Krypton, and it's not like a ton of it, but there's a decent chunk of flashbacks to Krypton like 6 or 7 years ago or whatever, and even when he's younger and stuff. But like I really liked all that, and like to Patty's point, I loved what they did with Jor-El and Lara. I thought they were way more interesting than they ever have been, almost ever, like kind of thing. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I really love these versions of his parents. And so I liked a lot of the stuff that was happening on Krypton. And issue 5, not to get too into it, is I think one of the best iterations of like Krypton ending that I've ever read. So like that kind of got me into this book more than I probably would have, but it takes a while to get there. So like unless you're really willing to get like past this first arc, like you're gonna not really see those bits that make it like to me what makes it like interesting and different from like another Superman or whatever.
And that did issue 5 especially, I think, really reframes Jor-El and Lara in a really different way, because classically they stick their baby in a rocket and save him.
Yeah, they're
in
like
this one they try to save the whole they actually save
and we'll get into the details of that, but like but I mean, but it makes them ultimately more I think heroic. I really liked it. Oh yeah,
but I mean it makes them more heroic and kind of a good example for Kal-El to follow.
Yeah, they're not just trying to save just Kal-El, they're trying to save themselves and the dog,
as many people as
possible. And like you know like and all these people around them, and that made it like really interesting to me. But
one thing I would add to my overall...
I really did. Oh, well, go ahead.
No. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say the AI, the soul, like it's basically his suit is the Fortress of Solitude in a way.
Yeah,
oh, that's interesting.
It's so like it's kind of a
really it's his support network. But I really enjoyed the fact that he was constantly talking to himself and talking to his suit. They don't get into it too much in this. I'm only on issue 9. I think there's maybe 11 are out right now. So I'm only a little behind present, but like, I really enjoy like the continuation of like them like they just recently got in like a fight. Like Soul was like, don't do this, don't do that, or whatever, and he's just like, no, I'm fucking doing it, you know, kind of thing. And then like he's like, just go away, stop talking to me, and he like yells at his suit essentially. And then later on, he's like, Soul, I need your help, and he's like, Soul, like, and it's not like responding because he told it to fuck off. And so I was like, that's kind of interesting. So there's like a little, I don't know, there's. Again, it's nuanced and subtle throughout these first few issues, but they start to build upon it, and I really like that weird dynamic he has with like talking to this last piece of his home planet with him like all the time, as opposed to like I'm gonna fly off to the fortress and look at a computer and
watch recordings, family, watch the one recording of my family over and over.
So I thought that was really fun, and to that and to Al's note about the powers, I thought it was pretty cool that he's a little like, I mean, he's not like super depowered. He's still Superman, but like he's got the suit's interesting and it can protect him and do certain things. I actually kind of like the cape made of dust. I think it's kind of cool. Like there's aspects of it that I'm like, all right, it seemed so dumb when I first saw images of it, but now I'm kind of going like, that's kind of neat. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I was ambivalent on it because in one sense, visually, it's kind of cool that he has this sort of spawn-like powered cape.
Swirling thing
around its own superpower. But it's also basically just like, what if Superman was also Iron Man? Or it just seems like
that's how I maybe
that part I didn't really. He's already Superman, and then you're also giving him
Yeah.
like an omniscient AI assistant.
They-
It just seems like a lot to.
They did do a good job though of like he is way more underpowered than
Right, for
Mhm.
sure.
And he can
Superman, so, like, the
expel
suit
his
kinda-
solar energy rather quickly, you know, like kind of thing,
Right,
as
yeah.
opposed to being like, I'm Superman all the time. It's like maybe it's because he wasn't raised here and he hasn't been like soaking up the sun for 30 years before he was Superman or whatever, but like I guess he's only been on the planet for like 6 years or something like that. But I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it.
I didn't even pick up on the fact that was like kind of his suit was basically the Forges of Solitude wrapped around.
Yeah,
him.
it's not like it's like they smash you over the head
Kind
with
of
it or
interesting.
anything, but it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is. You know, like that's kind of like it's his piece of Krypton that he can still talk to and interact with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
well, I was gonna one thing I just thought of. Well, your point about how he's not a baby when he leaves Krypton.
Mhm.
Issue 6 is kind of the epilogue issue. But I feel like if they had made that the first issue, I would have been more hooked into the series. Because like the first page, the idea that Clark is like a preteen, what is he, 12, 13? He's awake on this ship for a year and a half.
Yeah, he spent
by
years
himself.
in space alone.
Like, he spent a year, like he's awake on this ship, and the ship is programmed not to like let him die, so he can't die for I think it's like 17 months.
It won't let him not eat.
Yeah,
like,
so
he's
he's seen his planet destroyed. He saw his parents most likely eviscerated. So like he's by himself. They can't find an habitable world. And those first few panels, it's like 5 months after Krypton exploded. And he's like a little kid, scared. And then it's like 10 months after Krypton exploded. And he's like slowly. I feel like if they had spent more, that was very interesting to me. Like by the 6th issue, I was like, oh, this. It kind of makes more sense now how kind of unstable Clark is more so on Earth.
For sure, because
yeah. So and then that was my favorite issue, just because also again how I was saying he was kind of an unrecognizable character. The interaction he does have with the Kents in that 6th issue was nice.
Was cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
So again, like I overall, I think I kind of. I mean, obviously, I liked it more than both of you combined, but I don't know. I find it was pretty fun. I mean, like, and also the age thing doesn't bother me because I don't feel like Wonder Woman's supposed to be all that old. I mean, she was drawn by that artist to look kind of like how she normally looks, I guess.
Well,
but,
look,
like,
she's an old.
You could also see her as kind of like, like like mid-20s and blushing when. Steve Trevor looks at her a certain way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also Batman's young too. So like maybe, and I'd read Batman first. So like this didn't throw me off at all. Like Batman's like, I don't know, late 20s or something.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about Absolute Batman at all. We don't have to mention
next time.
Batman
we'll do
at all.
Oh yeah. Also, for the casual viewers of our show and or listeners, if you haven't noticed, we're doing Batman next.
We are
Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman.
We're
doing it. We're doing it.
We're Absolute Batman is the perfect blend of Frank Miller and the body horror genre, which is like the
and we're gonna cover it next episode.
If you could design a comic I would enjoy less, I challenge you to do that. But that's
we're gonna
got there.
You can hear all our thoughts on Absolute Batman 1 through 6 next week on the
but
Mobius
let's start on issue 1. Another point I want to make creator note wise. So we already talked about how Rafa was brought on halfway through.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I do want to mention Jason Aaron, friend of the podcast, because we've done his
Thor
the God Gore the God Butcher arc. So friend of the podcast. Also, according to his Wikipedia, Jason Aaron is a ardent fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide football team.
Oh,
so roll Tide. That's all.
Tide.
Just wanted to say a little roll Tide.
I'm interested to see who the original artist was because I really liked Sandoval's art.
Well, it's ironically
I don't know
it's someone
if you
with
remember
the same...
or you read Teen Titans Academy, but he drew some of that, if not all of it. I don't know. Yeah, but I really liked him on that book. So I was like, and I didn't quite place where I knew him from when I started reading this. I just was like, oh yeah, that's a relatively recent guy that I kind of like and recognize, but I don't really quite remember where I know him from. But I really enjoyed the art throughout. Yeah, maybe the coloring could have been different, Patty. I kind of agree with you on the
again, like I think it was the Krypton, like it was supposed to be a poison planet that was dying. I just felt like
Well,
those
it's also
color
just still
schemes were
supposed to look
tough.
alien too.
Alien 2,
Yeah.
which again, like I almost kind of wish there was a little bit more of Earth in it to make him a little bit more.
I think I like the reason I'm not defending it, I guess, but I, just palette wise, I can understand why they went with like the reds and the purples and the oranges and stuff for Krypton, because the green of Krypton ripping apart and the kryptonite part of it and like the poisoned gas and rock spewing out everywhere was very vivid and like different from anything around it. So it's not like it's a green forest with green shooting out of the ground. It was like a red forest with green shooting out of the ground. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I get what they're going for with that part.
So a few points. So first of all, the look of Krypton is very, it kind of looks similar to what we saw with Strange Adventures. It's very kind of 70s French fantastic planet, giant mushroom trees kind of look. And to Joe's point, it's a dying planet. So I think it was intentional that there's a lot of red and spewing volcanoes next to a skyscraper. It's the planet stripped bare, so it's just like red, brown.
Like where do the elves live? They live out in like the red fields or something. They call it.
Yeah. So I think that was all intentional. But I didn't mind it as a general sci-fi look. The original artist,
I liked it.
Was going to be Raphael Albuquerque.
Oh, okay. I know the name.
Known for American Vampire and DC's Blue Beetle. But Raphael Albuquerque.
Really?
Albuquerque? How do you pronounce it? Albuquerque.
Raphael.
But he was going to be the original, but he couldn't do it due to unforeseen circumstances. All right, but let's start with issue 1. We start right off on Krypton. Years ago, 9 million light years from Earth, a planet ruled by the Science Guild. And Lara, we're first introduced to Lara before Jor-El. Patrick, your thoughts, before we get into anything, your thoughts on Mohawk Beard Daddy?
I'm into it. It looks great.
Okay. Oh, so one different
Farmer guy?
spin. Well, one different spin of the Absolute Universe is, the Superman S classically is the House of El symbol. And in this, it's the symbol of the Labor Guild. It's not his, because the House of El isn't like this royal house like in the past. His parents are laborers, but the S is the Labor Guild symbol. So that's kind of a funny twist.
It's not the House of El. It's just,
They're the people of steel. They're the people of steel.
They're the sons of the sun, children of the sun.
Also janitors. You'll see it. They're janitors.
Yeah, and then waiters.
And waiters and janitors.
They work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But of course, within that guild is Jor-El, the top of his class science guild guy that spoke out against the science guild for the planet they're destroying, and then he was cast into the Labor Guild.
Hypocrites.
Yeah, and then Lara's there.
Lara was also a genius.
Genius engineer. Which again, it does seem a little over. Like they're super cool guys, but at the same time, makes it a little more believable that they can build a rocket and send their kid out of the planet, kind of thing. It does. I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, I don't. The one thing my big question is, where did they get the money for that rocket? Where did they get the money for all that? They built a giant spaceship. I know she built made like magic tech that could just make things out of nothing, right? That was the answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Jor-El was
could just
more like a geologist than like,
she's more of a
the science.
Engineer.
She's the rocket scientist.
She's the tech. She's the tech
He's the
guy.
geologist that like realizes
science.
That realizes the planet's ripping apart. And she's the one who's like, why don't we build a rocket?
They're both true scientists, and that's what the hypocrisy of Krypton is, because it's like the Science Guild is the leading class, and they're supposed to be all about like science and truth and all that stuff. But yet, like you're not allowed. Like Kal gets in trouble for writing a paper for school based off his own research and not using the AI.
His own thoughts.
Yeah. Well, that's super. That's a very topical. Like, hey, look at here, AI. It's a very poking a finger, at today.
It's society has
world.
come so far that they thought it was weird that he didn't just use generative filling to make write his paper. And they're like, I don't understand. Where'd you get these ideas? And he's like, I wrote it. And they're like, what do you mean you wrote it? Like kind of thing. And he's like, didn't you use, so basically they have like a specific, library of information that's like approved that they can like pull from, and he just came up with his own thoughts. And
but this was a big complaint of mine, and maybe, I'll give Jason Aaron the benefit of the doubt. Maybe as the series goes on, this is nuanced and fleshed out more. But I thought these 6 issues were thematically really confused, because on the one hand, he paints this picture of everybody uses Gen AI and nobody's original, and that's bad and that's bad. But then on the other hand, Superman has an AI cape that's his best friend, and that's great. So I just didn't understand, like, is AI your cape best friend? Is it just regurgitated pablum that isn't original? Like, why is it okay?
No, because his mommy made it, and it's not
okay. But that's what I mean. AI. Hopefully, as the series goes on,
I would assume
fleshed out more, and it's because it seems like he's just having it both ways of like, look at this cool real AI tech, but then this other AI tech is bad for creativity. And it just seemed really ham-fisted and not really fleshed out. But hopefully, as the series goes on, that's a dynamic that is explored a little bit better. And it probably will be. I think it probably will be.
Well, that was like kind of a big, and I don't know if he'll explore it or not, but like a big thing with his parents where they were both like geniuses. So their scores could have gotten them into the wealthy class of people, and they could have lived really comfortable lives. But they're true scientists and stuck to their morals and ethics, and they published papers that the guild didn't like. So they were, pushed back into the working class. So I would see it being more of like Soul is a different type of AI, more of like a tool to be used by Clark, as opposed to something he should like defer.
Well, it was initially designed by Laura to just be a suit that kept them alive in space. Really, it really wasn't supposed to be like this thing that he carried around with him.
Also, there is a real difference, even technologically, even coding wise, between real artificial intelligence and a large language model that would create like Gen AI. Those are 2 different techs. So I understand all that. I just, in the first 6 issues, I don't think Jason Aaron really explores that very well. I think in the first 6 issues, it just seems thematically confused as to like some AI is great, other is not. Hopefully he'll get there. I do want to say to that point about them, first of all, the proletariat needs all the allies it can get. Lenin was an educated upper class individual. Like throughout history, communist revolutions need intellectuals on their side. I'm all for that. However, Kal-El's parents are insufferable little fucks. I couldn't stand them. I hate they lord over their labor guilds, like the Mohawk beard daddy. She's like, oh, I fixed your rain problem. Like, fuck you.
Oh, she didn't do the rain. She fixed his tractor.
Hate her. Yeah, Superman's dad. Superman's dad is like, oh, the planet's dying, and then things explode and murder everyone he works with, and he's just like, oh, I got out because I saw it happen.
What are you talking about? He's like traumatized from that.
I hate both of them. They lord over their peers. I'm sorry.
Are you being a silly goose right now? Or are you being serious?
I'm not being a silly goose. The working class needs all the allies it can get. I accept that. However, these little entitled shits lord over their coworkers with their brains, and I don't like his parents. I don't like his parents. That's all.
I will say they're like the best characters in the book, practically.
For them being so smart, I will say it's silly of them to have thought the Science Guild would hear them out whatsoever, and they probably should have just.
Oh yeah, I did like
if they had saved if they had saved the 1,000 people that could fit on Noah's Ark and left the week before,
they tried.
Different story. Totally different story. No, they didn't try because Jor-El had to go with this PowerPoint presentation to the Science Guild. and
Because
get
he
put in
thought they
jail.
weren't doing anything.
No, he had to fuck around and find out. That's why they didn't get out.
I really, Patty, to your point earlier about like putting issue 6 at the beginning, I actually kind of like the bookend moment of like the rain comes, the Science Guild lets the rain through, and it's like over the farm that needed the rain. And then in the 6th issue, we find out the Lazarus Corporation is like blocking, like manipulating the weather.
Right, from the Kent's farm.
Classic real world scenario right now. Manipulating the weather over the Kent's farm to stop the rain. And like as soon as he gains, like Soul wakes up basically because it's been damaged. So like Soul wakes up and he can start talking to the Kents because it's translating for him and that kind of thing. And he's like, oh, I noticed. And he just like takes out these drones overhead like right away, and then it starts raining like right away.
Well, but that's, I know I joked.
I like the visual like.
Yeah.
Well, so I know I joked at the beginning about this, but it is very intentional in these 6 issues. Is this alien world is not very different from our world, and Joe just pointed out a good example, but also in issue 1, where after we meet Lara and Jor-El working in the mine, Jor-El is working in a red crystal mine, whatever. But we're immediately shown a mirror situation of a Brazilian metal mine that's being mined. So, again, we're just, it's a very, hammer over the head. These two worlds are not so different. There's a ruling class.
Yeah, so Clark's
and
using his powers
class
to help out the oppressed on our planet, because that's what basically the life he was living on his planet. And he's like, oh, this isn't right. And now I have the power to stop this from happening, so I'm going to. So right away, the enemy that he's come up against is this Lazarus Corporation that is just apparently
Basically
global and running rampant and just destroying shit left and right, and just like fucking people over left and right.
Right, and a DC head would see the name Lazarus Corporation and think to things like Ra's al Ghul and Lazarus Pits, of course. Not to let's bury the lead and come back to that later, but. If you're not new to these things, you'd recognize.
Yeah, the reveal is that the Lazarus Corporation is run by Ra's al Ghul.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, which I loved, is that obviously Absolute is a whole new universe. But I love that no matter the universe, no matter if it's Darkseid or Superman or it's Omega or Alpha, it doesn't matter. Throughout all the dimensions, Ra's al Ghul is always the naked raving lunatic, just with goo on him. And I love that. Like, that doesn't change. That's constant.
Never going to change.
Stands on business. Stands on business, man.
So I love that.
You know what it reminded me of?
The end of issue 6 is him just half naked, wet, off it, just going and it was just like wonderful.
It reminded me of there was and we read Legion Lost on this show, but like after Legion Lost happened, there was I forget what it was called. There was a 6-issue run, kind of like catching up you with the characters that were like
Legion Worlds.
Legion Worlds,
right?
Is that right?
Yeah, Legion. Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, but go ahead.
At any rate,
your point.
But Ra's al Ghul was the villain, so they brought like so he had like survived that long, like 1,000 more years into the future, and he was like the villain of that like arc, and he was like becoming, but it was more of like a politician, Ra's al Ghul. Like it was more of like, I'm going to become the president of the United Planets kind of thing. Like it was very similar to this kind of idea, like where he's like running this huge corporation versus like the League of Assassins.
But working for the Lazarus Corporation, he has this kind of enforcer, kind of like how in the Gilded Age you had the Pinkerton like private security forces for robber barons.
The Peacemakers.
The Peacemakers. Yeah, the Peacemakers, and one of them is Christopher Smith.
Yeah, that's correct.
Peacemaker.
And he's the worst lunatic of them all.
He is quite lunatic. Quite lunatic.
He's very bloodthirsty and like ready to just do whatever he needs to do to, I guess, further the interests of the company, which is kind of what he's doing. But he's also just like murdering people, and they're like, that's a little too far, bud. Dial that back.
Well, have you all ever read, like, are you read up on kind of the origins of General DC Peacemaker and his arc as villain
Not at all.
Suicide Squad to that?
Not really. I mean,
don't care about him outside of John Cena.
Until the show came out, like he's been kind of like off to the side for so long. Like weirdly enough, in that Teen Titans Academy run, like he was there, or like Superboy was like part of his little group or something. I don't know. There was something weird going on there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything.
He was
about
like
him
relevant
beyond...
then, but he's only been relevant since like the Suicide Squad with James
right,
Gunn
and then the
came out,
TV show.
you know.
Yeah. No, and I don't know anything to Patrick's point. I also don't know anything about him beyond.
Well, he's
John
also
Cena.
like the Question. I think it was Charleston Comics or something like that. Like that they like absorbed some characters from like other company, like along with Shazam and like some other Captain Marvel, but you know what I mean. But I think he's
Well,
just
I don't
like
think so.
part of that
Shazam
group.
was Fawcett comic. I don't think.
Oh, that's Fawcett. Yeah, you're right.
Well, there's Fawcett, but like Blue Beetle, I think, and Shining
Blue
Knight.
Beetle and I think Peacemaker and like Question, for instance, are from the same company.
Different,
and I think it was Charleston Comics. I could be wrong, but because of that, they never like used him really. So like he hasn't really been relevant.
Okay, I Wikipedia'd it. It was Charlton Comics. Yeah, that he was originally in. Charlton. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's where he was originally.
Not the city in South Carolina.
No.
Not the beautiful city in South Carolina.
But back to issue 1 though, because again, issue 1's the intro, so it does the typical arc of it ends on a bang, and Superman fights the Peacemakers.
Yeah, on Earth, he helps the miners out by like getting rid of this asbestos problem that they had in the mine that was causing them all to get sick and dying.
Yeah,
and then also mines the mine for them so they could just walk out with the diamonds.
Yeah,
but because they come out so quickly,
just so
the Peacemakers are like, that's way too fast,
Yeah, and for the listeners, we're talking about MINERS, although some of them are MINORS.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah,
some of them are definitely
miners, as in they go into a mine and mine.
But we're talking about mining miners.
I did think it was a little silly for the miners to go in there and go right back out with the. I would have been
wouldn't you be like, well, let's just hang out for like 8 hours and then walk out with diamonds? Like idiots. Let's just at least just hang out for a few hours and have your lunch. I mean, you already have it packed. You got to make it look real. That would have been my first thought. It's like, well, all the work's been done, so why don't we just sit and play a game tomorrow? Let's bring some playing cards or something so we could do something, but you got to pretend we're working. Instead, they're just like, it's all done, and they walk right out, and the Peacemakers are like, wait a minute. So they immediately figure out that something's going on, and long story short, they very quickly hunt down and find Superman, but it's because he's been doing this to this company in multiple other locations around the world, and they're starting to recognize a pattern of like, oh, it's probably that guy that did that thing at the other place.
Yeah, and also going back to kind of issue 6 and later issues, we will see that Superman has a bit of a history with the Lazarus Corporation. It's not just starting here in Brazil with this mine. But he does. So we get to see some cool stuff in this fight. One, we learn that Superman again is a little bit less in control of his powers than the Superman we're used to. For example, at one point, his solar energy bursts out of his eyes and just kind of it almost does the Vegeta final flash of like from his eyes.
Yeah,
it's bursts out.
Yeah,
and it creates like an ocular crater of destruction. So we automatically see that he can't just pinpoint heat vision. He's not quite in control of all his powers, which is kind of interesting to see.
Also, while he's doing that, he has like a flash of X-ray vision in the middle of it. Like it's just like it's like his eyes are like flipping through their powers really quickly. And
so you can see that he's still not used to all these powers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then
I like the little tiny caveat of like every picture they take of him has like a digital blur on his face because his suit is like hiding his identity, which is kind of like a fun play on like, is it me, Clark, with the glasses on, or is it Superman? Kind of. And I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, and so Soul is, his cape is made of red Krypton rocks, but it's also, like we mentioned, a super advanced AI, and it can just hack into anything.
It's like a nano
computers
suit, kind of thing.
Again, it's like an Iron Man suit. It can do
I guess, but
and can hack into stuff.
I like the part where it runs out. Like at one point, he's trying to save like 20 people around him, and because he's enveloping them in the cloud of the red, like dust or whatever from Krypton, it's like he's only wearing like underwear. Like the whole suit had to like evaporate off him to like swirl around everybody, kind of thing. And I was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That it's cool that it's a finite thing, I guess is what I'm saying. It leads itself to the idea that like maybe at some point it'll get damaged and get damaged more, and he'll start to lose. You know, like maybe he'll lose it at some point. I don't know.
Well,
There's
there's a lot of
I'm a normal Superman outfit on now or whatever, but
yeah,
they have put a lot of limits on. They've capped his powers in a lot of different ways in this.
yeah. He's
I'm
not
kind of enjoying
super invulnerable like he is in standard DC. He's definitely less kind of strong.
I did.
You know,
issue
he kind
one-
of seems almost.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just mean he's almost X-Men mutant like in his. He does have a lot of
yeah.
power, but he has to have locks on it to keep it in check, and he can't really control it. It's almost like a mutant Cyclops kind of power dynamic than it is standard Superman.
I love the Lazarus Corporation has helicopter tanks, and I just thought that was hilarious. like I'm like, I don't understand the logic of that. Like there's helicopters coming down, and I thought they were lowering the tanks, but if you look at it, they're literally
they have
helicopter blades
propellers
on the tanks, and then when the tanks land, the helicopter blades just fold up like on top, like a giant point, like a ridiculous Star Wars ship or something with like
so stupid.
And I was
Well,
like,
Joe,
this is the funniest looking tank I've ever seen in my life.
Well, as the fan of G.I. Joe, I would think you would love shit like that. Isn't that?
Oh, I do love it. It's also insane.
Well, it is insane, but
it's nothing like a trouble bubble, Al, if that's what you're asking.
A trouble bubble?
That's real.
A trouble bubble.
The trouble bubble.
Okay.
That's all those G.I. Joe nerds out there are gonna be like, I know what that is.
Sounds like a Sailor Moon attack. Trouble bubble.
I was gonna say it sounds like something.
It's the little ridiculous pods with the glass domes on it that fly around in G.I. Joe, like the Cobra.
Okay. I was gonna say it sounds like something both sexual and Mormon.
It's a trouble bubble of an STD.
But, yeah. At the end of episode 1, we do also meet a typical Superman mainstay, and that is
Lois Lane. She cuffs herself to him in the middle of the fight, which I thought was fucking crazy.
I want to say, I know, Patrick, we were criticizing the art earlier. I just want to say, to Rafa's credit, love the Catwoman like short hair, military looking badass.
It's
Lois.
Military Lois is pretty cool.
Yeah, military Lois, I'm a fan of. She rocks that look pretty well.
One of the things, and I think it's in the very next issue. Oh, so this issue we do get a little peek of like there's some sort of AI type thing helping the Lazarus Corporation, but really it's Brainiac. But we don't know.
Hey,
I don't think.
Spoiler.
They've got there's it shows them, but they've.
Well, the beginning of issue 2 is it's the beginning of the next issue.
Surprise. There's little cities and bottles with people screaming inside of them, by the way, which I thought was a little extra fucked up.
Is that so? A quick question about the cities and bottles. In the latest season of Harley Quinn, Brainiac is in it, and he shrinks cities and puts them in bottles.
Yeah.
Is that a pre-existing Brainiac lore thing, or
yeah,
all right? Because I've never really seen that. Okay, I gotcha. So that's
the bottled city of Kandor is like famously the one that Superman saves from Brainiac, and then he keeps it in the Fortress of Solitude because I think he lacks the technology to grow them. But then there's plenty of stories where they can leave and come out and get grown to normal size stuff, the kind of thing. So I'm just like, I have no idea why they just keep it in the bottle still. I think the idea is like most of the city of the population of Kandor is like, we're good just being Kryptonians, like in our city. Like we don't need to come out like kind of thing and fly around. But
how do they have crop fields? How do they eat?
I have no idea. Okay. I have no idea.
Okay. No, but
Superman just there's a little water bottle on the side that has like one of the like a hamster can lick the little metal ball. that's all they do.
Okay, because I've honestly the only comic version. I don't think I've ever read a comic version of Brainiac other than Brainiac 5 from Legion, and like Justice League Unlimited episodes that had Brainiac in it, but I never actually read a Superman
pretty
comic
close
that had
to like
Brainiac.
Justice League Unlimited or the Superman animated series is pretty close to like a boiled down version of like what Brainiac is.
Yeah. But in Harley Quinn, he did shrink cities, so I thought so I got from that.
Yeah, man, that's a real thing. The Redlands. That's where they're from on Krypton.
The
Yeah,
Redlands.
the Redlands. But Brainiac is holed up in the Nevada desert. Is that a Area 51 like wing?
I think that's
kinda
kind
thing?
of what that's supposed to imply. Yeah,
Maybe.
like kind of like a military base in the middle of the desert, kind of. And he's a alien that they're letting do shit, I guess. It's interesting because he doesn't seem to know what Superman is. So when he sees Superman, he's like, "Ooh, he literally says, "Scrumptious new toy," kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, he's bored, so this interests him. So there's that. But at the same time, he's not like, "I'm from Krypton and of this and I've been to Krypton. I know what Krypton is. I've been all around the universe, kind of thing." Like that's interesting.
Do you
I don't
think,
know what his origins are in this, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think they're gonna make him like in the animated series, he was the Krypton supercomputer
That's
that then
not
became.
so that's the part of the animated series that's not necessarily that's
right,
more
'cause
like a
in
modern
comics there's the
telling.
Kolu, Kolu is the planet of
Yeah.
Brainiacs, right? Yeah. Okay.
He's organic, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes and no.
Originally, he's
Well,
originally,
somewhat,
yes.
kind of. All right, so let's go on to
what did y'all think of the
Oh.
costume, the solar dust of Soul on the arm braces? Were you all a fan of that, or?
I think it's a gimmicky thing to make him look different, but I still kind of like it. And I like the part that makes, like, when he's charged up, it's like kind of glowing and it's there. Like, and when it's like less covering his arm, and I do kind of like that in a weird. It's like a battery meter in a way. Like you can be like, oh, you can visually look at Superman and go, oh, he's got a lot of power right now, versus like, oh, it's shrinking down or whatever.
I didn't feel any kind of way about it.
Yeah. It was kind of annoying me when it latched onto Lois to to get the braces
to swirl
off,
around the handcuff.
Yeah. I guess I was expecting more of it, of some sort of special ability it was going to do, as opposed
to like it was going to be Wonder Woman gauntlets,
or something, or just something.
I think it's just part of the suit. Yeah,
like I said, a heat vision. He'd have like blasts or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I'm kind of glad he doesn't, but at the same time, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I hinted at this at the beginning. I don't think I know. I think I need more time on it. I don't know how I feel yet about this whole bio armor Spawn Iron Man version of him. That isn't. I just don't know how I feel about that yet. I need more time.
I will say, so issue 5 is by far my favorite, but issue 2 is by easily second favorite issue of these 6 issues, because it's just him shackled to Lois, still trying to be Superman, and I love how frequently she just tries to shoot him in the face.
It's constant. Every other panel, she's shooting him.
He's like, I'm cuffed. He's like, I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, and he's like, and then she's just like, put your hands behind your back, and he's like, what are these what are these cuffs made out of, kind of thing. And I just love how she's just like, all right, fuck it, and just shoots him, and he's like, don't do that again, that just hurt, like.
It's also an interesting spin on, again, going back to the thing of how this universe is different, going back to the Christopher Reeve 70s movies. Superman flying with Lois is a classic image of them together, right? And like gingerly picking her up, or in the Christopher Reeve movie, holding her hand and kind of flying like Peter Pan Wendy, is classic Superman imagery. And in this one, they're just handcuffed together and he blasts off to get away from an army. And that's their first flight together. She's just dragged along with him, kind of unwittingly. So I thought, not to say, obviously, we should always ask for consent from a partner whenever we do anything, including flying. So I don't want to minimize that.
Well, she has shot him in the head a couple of times already.
She's asked for it.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to ask consent to jump into the air and try to escape.
Well, I just want to shoot
you in the skull 2 times in a row.
I just want to say the Mobius Couch's official opinion is that we should always ask.
Oh, sure. I do like, so when the soul swirls around the handcuffs, I really like.
Fun spin on the classic fly with Lois thing, is all I meant. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I when soul swirls around the handcuffs, to Patrick's note earlier, I like how. Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to work faster or do something. I mean, it's a supercomputer attached to his suit, but like it took for. I mean, they do say that they're using technology that's not of this world or whatever. So like clearly Brainiac's helping them with technology and doing shit for the Lazarus Corporation or whatever he's giving them. I assume it's him, but like whatever he's giving them is, you know, all this armor they're wearing, all the guns they're running around with. That's like most likely from Brainiac. But if it's not from Earth. But the idea, so there's one part where Soul's like, well, let me go around the cuffs to like figure this out and get you out of this. And he's like, okay, but just don't hurt. I mean, he goes out of his way to say, don't hurt her though. You know, like kind of thing. Like whatever you do, like don't chop her arm off to get me free. Like, you know,
right.
And I thought that was cool. On that note of consent.
It was kind of annoying how long it took because it's like such a bright, intense, like glowing light that you'd think it would just shred through whatever was on there. But I don't know. I had mixed feelings about the Sundust arm braces.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think maybe if his costume
with
was
the glowing like, there, it is indicating that they do something more than just like it's the ends of his suit, you know, or whatever. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess with all the before, this is the first time I read this since it came out like a year ago. It started maybe. Mm-hmm. I was expecting there to be more to those golden braces than there was, but
yeah. Hold on. Did you see it? I mean, he said keep talking, but he said he needs 5 minutes. All right. I'm just saying, like, you know, obviously edit that bit, but
yes, of course.
All right.
Well.
All right. So I can talk. There's Lois locked onto Kal-El is pretty awesome. I love this issue, but there's specific parts that I really enjoy. Because at first she's like, fuck you, and trying to shoot him in the head, obviously. But then as the issue progresses, he's constantly keeping her safe while also fighting off everybody around him, all the peacemakers and stuff. But then the second people are in danger, he's like, oh, we got to get those people out of that church. It's about to get firebombed and, you know, that kind of thing. So like he's constantly helping them. And just the way Lois is kind of going like, wait, you're not what I was expecting at all, like kind of thing. Like, I don't understand. Why are we fighting you right now? Like, you know, kind of, and getting confused. And then there's a really cool part, like I was mentioning earlier about the bomb, like a rocket hits the church and he's trying to save everybody. The suit kind of expands out and like envelops people around him.
Yes.
You know, like to save them. But while he's in that vulnerable state of just wearing like basically underwear of his suit left, and then she's still cuffed to him, she's like, oh shit, it's not the suit. Because that was like a theory they had as Peacemakers that like maybe it's the suit and it's just a dude in a suit, much like Iron Man to Al's point. But like, you know, like she's like, oh, because like a bunch of rocks smashed down on his back and it like cracks around him, and she's like, oh shit, it is not the suit, it is also you know, kind of thing. I thought that was cool. And then like as he continues to save people, her opinion of him obviously starts to shift, and she's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Like, and that was kind of and also the narration is her like after action report that she's writing throughout. And I'm like, this is pretty fucking fun, man. Like, I really love that issue.
Which I did feel like her action report was like a parallel to him doing the actual like report when he was a kid on Krypton, because everyone was asking why she was like writing it out herself and not having
again the similarities between like what happened on Krypton throughout and what's happening on Earth. It's a fun dynamic to play with. So that's another part. Did
you get the impression that Lois was like quite a bit older than him?
Not a lot, but
for some reason I did.
I got the impression he's, let's call it 24. You know, like, and that's probably
old?
high mile. Yeah, I'm saying that I'm probably going too high. Yeah. But like she seems 28, 30. You know,
I was about to say she
seems a good like 6 years older than him.
I would say like she seems like she's like 28, 30. I feel like he seems like he was like 18. Like,
I think that's the deception of the art, though. Like, so like they keep they say hair. 6 years ago, and the long hair, and they say 6 years ago, and he's clearly like a teenager. Well, on Krypton, and then like, and then he spent, you know, and then he spends a year and a half in space, so he grows a little bit, obviously. But then he said he's been on Earth for several years doing this. Like, it's not like so obviously like totaling around 6 years, including space
Yeah.
travel. He's been on Earth for at least 6 or 7 years. So if he's like 15, 16 or whatever when the Earth or when Krypton explodes, like that's 22, 20. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like he's in that range. I guess that makes sort of sense, but
I don't know. I kept
he's
reading
definitely
him
younger,
as
and I do
much
get the
as
impression she's
younger,
older. Yeah.
But
I like
then
at
right
the
when,
end of issue 2 when she finally is like, okay, well, you know, I trust you for whatever reason, and blah, 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 and she unlocks the cuffs. She's like, but don't leave, and he just goes rockets into the sky.
Immediately.
She's like, wait, don't, just let me talk to you for, like, she basically just wants to talk to him a little bit longer and try to learn about him, but he's like,
But yeah.
she's like, don't leave, just put up shit. All right, he's gone. And which I kind of enjoyed. But yeah, issue 2, like kind of Lois's brain right away in issue 2 was fun to get to as well. You didn't wait to introduce Lois. She's introduced right away.
Yeah.
You got right away, you get a perspective from her from like this issue. And then I don't know. I
And
really
so,
enjoyed that little beat.
I will say with Lois, backtracking on what I said about Clark, how I feel like he was a completely different character. Lois still, once she starts kind of investigating, you get that kind of investigative journalist side to Lois, which again I feel like is a very core pillar of her character.
For sure. Yeah.
I thought they did a better job of bringing Lois over into a different perspective, yet still keeping her like. I don't know. There's something about her that I still relate to, that I still recognize from this other universe.
She finishes her report and it says written by Lois Lane, and she's like, "Well, that felt really good."
Yeah.
You
She
know, like
talks about how
like
she
there's little
enjoyed
notes about that. Yeah.
writing it. And also, again, back to the parallels between Krypton and Earth. Her report again is her superiors say, "Why don't you just have the Brainiac system do it?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but she wrote it herself, and so it goes again that conflict with using Gen AI, just creating the thing for you rather than writing.
Well, it turns out it's not AI; it's just Brainiac.
Well, it's Brainiac. Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like she's saying certain things about Kal-El and going like, he's this and he's that, and I don't think he's a threat. And then the Brainiac kind of responds with like, this completes your after action report. You know, like we've noted that you would like prefer him dead or something. Like, because she says, I don't think he can be controlled because he's like way too powerful and strong. And then they're like, you've recommended he dies, and she's like, no, that's not what I said. You know, kind of thing. And I really liked that little bit, those little bits there. That was funny. Agent advises termination. So noted. And you're like, she's like, no, you fucking computer. You know, which is kind of what leads her to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna write this myself. Like Brainiac computer in quotations is, you know, making me say shit in my report that I'm not trying to say, kind of thing. And I thought it was kind of cool. We get there's a quick.
He's got a dog.
Yeah, there's a quick beat with Crypto, and it's really about Lara telling Jor that she's like working on a way to get off the planet and the suit, you know, kind of thing. The space suits that he's currently wearing. Yeah,
it's really convenient that his mother invented an Infinity Amazo suit.
I mean, pretty smart lady, you know. Yeah. Pretty smart lady.
Very smart.
Great.
I guess issue 2 ends with Peacemaker blasting some people.
Also, I know the written by Lois Lane thing we talked about, how it's like it hints at her, but it's a full page. It's just a full page written by Lois Lane.
It's not
a full page.
32 size font.
It is in huge fonts.
It's bigger than a title font for the document.
You know what's funny about that? Because a reason to do that in art would be like, well, I don't have her report written out, so if I needed to make it the font big enough for you to read her name, but at the same time, I don't want to write a full report. But you did that because that's the script of the book. Like just take the script of the book. You know what I mean? Like the narration throughout this issue is her report. So just put that all on a little page, and then at the bottom, written by Lois Lane or whatever.
Instead, it's the full top fourth. It's the full top fourth of a page in 48 font or whatever, written by Lois Lane.
It's definitely if it's not 48 font, it's 72.
Yeah,
It's 72. It's the
crazy.
H1. It's the H1 of her report.
Also, shouldn't it be like written by Private Lane or like Sergeant Lane?
Agent Lane. She's
Agent
agent.
Lane.
Yeah.
That just.
All right. Well, issue 3. We're
And at the
we're
end of
moving along.
issue 2, we also get a little tidbit of Peacemaker being a psycho.
Yeah.
And he's
Kill some people. He likes to
he's
kill
a psycho.
He likes to kill people. He likes to kill people. All right. So again, like I really enjoy the Krypton parts. It's kind of cool seeing Clark actually raised by his parents.
Yeah.
You mean Kal-El?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Kal-El.
Kal-El.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's hard not to call him Clark. It's hard not.
I know. I was gonna say that earlier. It's so funny that he's not Clark in this because like we're the amount that we've already referred to him as Clark in a familiar way.
But he is actually not Clark in this. So calling him Clark it's not accurate. That is not his name.
Correct. That's correct. In fact, that's one of the distinguishing separations of his character. And we keep calling him Clark. All right, my bad. Kal-El and or Superman.
Cal.
It's cool seeing Kal raised by his parents. It's kind of neat. I like it. I also like the little bits of him in school. Like we already mentioned about him writing the paper. Like, but stuff like that's cool. Like he's just like his mom and dad. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm doing what I want to do."
Well, that's kind of
one.
That's one thing I kind of wish they did a little bit more. I know they were focused on like establishing him as a hero, but you're the son of 2 of the smartest people from an advanced civilization, and they also kind of show on Krypton that he was also kind of thought the same way as them. Like, I kind of wish there was a little bit more. If you're going for the sci-fi alien bit, I wish he had a little bit more showing how smart he might be. Like, I feel like he should be more intelligent than some of the situations. I know we're grappling with like he's sacrificing his safety to save innocence, and that's the core of the character that I was saying I didn't really feel like was there as much, but I almost feel like if you were going to push it this far, just have him be, because I feel like classic Superman is also smart in a scientific way, more so than they give him credit for.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny
if Wonder Woman's more magic and she's more of a sorcerer. It would have been interesting.
Yeah,
to
if
see
Superman lent even more
of
tech.
the science.
Yeah, if he leaned way more tech. But you can't, because Bruce and Absolute Batman is already a genius, a literal genius.
I thought he would just be, the standard detective archetype. But
yeah, but I guess you can't have everybody be a genius. But it'd be funny if like he really wasn't that. Like the report he wrote without Gen AI was just meet talk pretty one day or whatever. Like it actually wasn't that impressive. It'd be kind of funny.
The old block, son.
Yeah, he's a C+ student. Like just because he wrote it on his own doesn't mean it's actually so
good.
great.
That's true. That's true.
No, but I get your point, Pat. It'd be, if they're really reinventing the character, it'd be more interesting if maybe he was fully tech based rather than still
maybe
Superman.
or just a little. I don't know, just a little bit more. He seemed to be very reliant on Soul.
Well, he's also still young too. Like he's not like, and also his grades are really bad because he's not doing what they're supposed. Like, I mean, he's obviously using the knowledge and the perspective of his parents, but like to write his reports and stuff, which is getting him bad grades, so he's gonna like fail out of school kind of thing. And he's like worried to tell them about it because he's like, they're gonna be mad I'm failing school, and they're like, we don't care at all, actually. They fuck them, and we think you're doing a great job, and just do what you want to do. And he's like, well, I don't want to know what I want to do, but I know I'm going to do it right here. And he like looks out on a field, and they're like, like kind of about that.
Well, I like how his dad.
I really like those moments.
His dad just turns away and goes off to cry and like chisel at rock.
Yeah,
which is a typical male response to emotion is just walk away from it.
Well, he's got work to do. He's got work to do.
They've got work to do.
It wasn't just a family trip. He was secretly trying to figure out what's going on with the planets. There's a reason they went to that line.
They did definitely kind of gender bend the archetypes of Jor-El and Lara, where she was definitely the more tough masculine, and he was more the emotional, quote unquote, feminine figure.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. She's got the Rob Liefeld X-Force gun there.
When she goes to save him, it was like, yes, girl, get it.
Yeah, it's the best part.
Shoot lava out of that.
Yeah, so the Science Guild arrests Jor 'cause he
she looks
tries to.
identical to Lois. Like we've really got to talk to
Well,
Kal-El
I don't.
about
That's
this.
just. I think that's just like, well, not just the art, but I mean, like the art. It's not like the faces look all that crazy.
They
different
look
for the
pretty
most part.
similar. I mean,
Yeah.
she looks.
I mean, like all the
Lois.
people do, though, is what I'm saying. Like all the kids look like Clark with different haircuts. You know what I mean? Like
no one looks like Clark.
They don't look very crazy different.
Nobody looks like Clark because Clark doesn't exist.
Oh, sorry,
Kal-El.
Kal-El.
Yeah, she's got a super gun. I love how so Jor gets arrested. He runs home. He's like, Mom, Dad's been arrested. And she's like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. And she's like, what the fuck are you gonna do, Mom? And he's like, I'm going to get your goddamn dad back.
Well, I like how she uses Soul and all his tech and breaks them out. And when she gets to his jail cell, he says, I guess the suit works. And she just says, you're an idiot. Like, let's go. Let's get out. And I laughed at that. She says, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot going to talk to the Science Guild.
Yeah.
But yes. I actually really love the beat where she's like, Jor-El, where are you? Go find him, Krypto. And then Krypto is the one who like knocks the guards outside of Jor-El's cell. And he's like, Krypto? Where's Laura? But that panel is so funny because he's got a little bit of soul around him. And he's got like the red dust around, and it looks like the cape, obviously. But it's like, for some reason, it makes the dog wearing a cape less stupid. I kind of love it because I'm just like, that's kind of hilarious that it looks like the crypto cake, the classic crypto cake, but it's the dust particle.
I did like that homage to the crypto cake. Crypto cake. Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
Also, their escape spaceship, I thought looked very kind of anime, very kind of Gundam with that deep red and the black. It was. I thought it was really very cool. Gundam anime looking. So that was kind of cool.
I like their little. You know what's weird? Actually, I just got it and maybe this is just my comic book brain going on overload, and this isn't coming through at all. But the shot of the ship, it's all red, but then it has black and yellow stripes, and it just immediately made me think of Plastic Man's just the ship. It's just Plastic Man. Every time Plastic Man's hiding on something, it's always got his belt is there, and it's red in his belt. Yeah. So we get a hint that at the end of this issue that it cuts back to Kansas and Martha's there, dying.
Yes, they kind of tease out the Kent connection.
She's like, my sweet angel boy. Yeah. Fly back to me, my sweet angel boy.
Fly back to me.
I did laugh.
Where did you go?
I straight up laughed at Angel Boy. Did you guys ever watch Tim and Eric's Awesome Show?
I've seen
I've seen bits.
Or no, it wasn't even that. There was an HBO show they did called Tim and Eric's Tales of Horror or something, or Weird Tales. But there was one about this guy who lives in the suburbs, and his neighbor's son sings weird music. He goes he does things like that. But the neighbor calls him his sweet little angel boy. And
okay.
So I mean, I don't want to get into it's maybe a little.
It just made you immediately.
This made me think of the little angel,
which is great.
But it's that Tim Heidecker guy just going and that's the sweet little angel boy.
Sweet little angel boy.
Send me a link to that later.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can watch it.
Where did you go, Angel Boy?
My angel boy. The Omega Men. The next step is the Omega Men.
So they're Antifa, right? Omega Men are Antifa.
Antifa.
Yeah, they're Antifa. They're Antifa, right? They hate rich people.
How did you guys feel about Ninja Jimmy Olsen?
I kind of felt as soon as
didn't care much for it.
It was.
I don't know if that's the reinvention of the character we needed.
He was almost too like Jimmy Olsen, just this is Jimmy Olsen from the main universe that was thrown into this universe, and he joined Resistance.
All right. Before we get to that, though, so Lois Lane makes she finds the Peacemaker that killed innocents and beats the shit out of him. And I just want, for the record, I want it to be known that my sexual orientation is Lois Lane in this panel. That is what I want. That is my sexual orientation. Just beat the shit out of some dude and just sachets out of him, looking great.
Yeah.
Sachet. Oh wait.
Is she
She breaks
sashaying?
his.
She's striding confidently
She's striding confidently out of there. She's
on
the
a
best.
red carpet.
She's the best. Also, her dad is saved on her phone as the General.
And it's a picture of them.
You know,
when
it's
she was,
funny.
like a child.
I mean,
also,
I don't know why I'm hesitating to say his name, but Dominic, who I do a toy podcast with, everybody who wants to listen to another podcast. Anyway, Dominic's, I mean, he's in the military. His father's in the military. We call him, they also, his children call him the Colonel. We all call him the Colonel. It's not that weird. I guess I'm just saying, it's not, in a military family. It's not that.
I'm more weirded out by the profile picture she has of him when he calls. Is a picture of her when she's like.
How do you know that's her? How do you know that's her when
know.
she's 5 and not another child?
Yeah, but that's not what she. I mean, do you know anything about our phones, Patty? That's not what she chose. That's his.
Maybe
profile
that
picture.
might be his.
Also,
yeah,
is it weird? But I find
it's
it
him
less,
when she's a little girl. That's adorable.
I find it less strange if family members refer to the Colonel than the General. For some reason, the Colonel sounds more personable.
Well, he was a colonel,
like a nickname, but the General.
The point is, her dad's a general.
Also,
makes sense.
When you see him currently, he's got like white hair, and then it zooms out, and he doesn't have legs. Mm-hmm. And I immediately went to Hank Hill's dad from King of the Hill. I don't know if you guys remember, but
barely.
Hill.
I mean, I watched a good chunk of that show, but I barely remember it.
His whole thing is that he got his shins shot off in Vietnam, and they sewed his feet directly to his knees so he doesn't have shins. He's a very short man. You know, he's just a very short man. And when I saw that, I just thought, also, he was like he seemed like a strict, like, do your job, soldier. So he just reminded me of Cotton Hill.
The key well, that's adorable. Yeah. But the key takeaway there is that the Lazarus Corporation
first of all, Cotton Hill is not a good father. That was not
makes
adorable.
His
no, he was terrible person, terrible character.
The Lazarus Corporation makes the general's legs, his prosthetic legs. So like the implication being like, your dad won't be able to walk again if you don't work for us, Lois. You know, it's kind of like like a weird blackmail, kind of like, not blackmail, but like something they hold over her constantly to be like, if you quit or if you don't do what we ask, or like you don't toe the company line, like we're gonna take your dad's legs away.
Also, he gives her shit for. Oh, go ahead, Pat. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, isn't it like established that he lost his legs in a fight with the Omega Men? Like, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
You know, radicalizes her against the Omega Men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, back to my sexual orientation. So he brings up the thing about, Lois, you should use Brainiac AI, and she goes, "Whatever, Dad, I gotta go." And her facial expression there is also like, if a woman would. I wish a woman would look at me that way and just brush me off.
Just with disgust.
Just look at me with disgust and turn me off.
I think we need to talk about your self-esteem issues.
I don't think I have any.
Something very deep.
Yeah, I don't think I have any to talk about. Yeah, it's just absent.
Well, you have plenty of issues. I don't know if you have any self-esteem to talk about.
Oh, well, let's move on.
Let's move on. There's a brief check-in with Chris. Is that Chris, right?
So it's Chris. Yeah, it's
Peacemaker.
Chris
the Peacemaker Brainiac.
This is another Brainiac of like Chris Smith saying like, I fucked up, I shouldn't have shot the guy. Brainiac's like, no.
You did what was right. Yeah, you did what was right.
You did what was.
We want you to be more crazy.
Here's more guns. Take more guns from us.
Yeah, Brainiac is like, have you considered being more unhinged? Here is weaponry.
Have you considered continuing with your duties of being more crazy? This concludes your therapy session, Peacemaker Smith. Lazarus thanks you for your service.
Yeah, but even Peacemaker's like, maybe I should take time off. Like, I feel like I'm losing it. And Brainiac's like, no, why don't you get back on the field and murder more people?
Yeah.
Brainiac understands what you are saying. Your gun misfired.
He's like, no, I murdered those people. I'm freaking out. And he's like, no, you're good. You're good.
The
Keep
weapon
going.
was defective, not you.
That's great. Yeah, Ninja Jimmy meets Lois.
Ninja
I don't.
Jimmy
I mean,
meets-
and
it's his
Omega
whatever.
Prime.
Yeah, who do you think Omega Prime is?
It's. I know who it is, but it's.
Who is
not
it?
Like
Spoiler.
They reveal who it is,
Yeah.
right? Later in the issue. Well, I don't.
Spoilers. Who is it? I want to know who is it. Spoilers.
I can't tell you that. You got to keep reading.
I'm just gonna Google it.
Do we
ChatGPT.
Do we see her take her? Yeah, she takes her mask off, right?
No, she
Does she?
doesn't.
Oh, she
Not in this
doesn't?
issue.
Oh, now I know who it is. Okay, whatever.
I mean, is it going
Yeah.
to be Lana? It's going to be Lana, right? It has to be.
No,
it's not.
it's
'Cause it's
you
all Superman cast
know,
members?
It's more Batman cast member actually.
Oh,
The
Huntress?
other Batman cast member in this series, maybe.
So it's not Huntress?
No, who's the other Batman character related to the Absolute Superman 1 through 6?
Oh, Talia al Ghul.
Mhm.
Because of Roz?
yeah,
Okay. Because of Roz.
Talia's
yeah.
fighting against her daddy.
I got
bitch. That
Hey,
bitch.
she's not that bad.
You actually said that though. You said bitch.
It's a bitch. She's a bitch.
Okay, we
She's a
want to edit that out.
Bitch.
But so we meet that bitch. We meet that bad bitch, Omega Prime,
Mhm.
and Jimmy. And then Peacemaker just murders more people. I think just
He murders people.
Well, there's
that are-
Yeah. There's a bit of a fight, and then Clark swoops down. Sorry, I keep saying that. Superman swoops down and just kind of knocks them all down. You know, like just dismisses them. Like he just waves away
Yeah.
Talia. He's like, whatever, get out of here. Kind of basically to save Lois, I guess. And mostly because this issue is basically Lois is hunting for him still, and he's like, stop looking for me. Like, just let me help people and let me be, kind of thing. But then the Peacemakers show up, and I like how he just freezes them all.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, but I like how
Here's the-
he freezes them all, and then later we just skip to them unfrozen, and Smith is in handcuffs, and the other Peacemakers are like, "Dude, you just killed 30 fucking people. What are you doing?" Like we skip over him doing it. We just get to him coming out of the fugue state and sort of being insane. So that was kind of a cool.
So a crowd of people
Scene
gathers
shift.
to laugh at the Peacemakers frozen in ice, and I guess when he
Mhm.
falls out, he murders all of them.
yeah.
I mean, his gun misfired, Pat, pretty
He
clearly.
misfired again. Yeah, it was another defective.
Also,
gun.
Talia backhands Jimmy because he's a little bitch.
Getting bitch slapped.
She's
by
mad.
the
She's mad that the
main-
Superman got away.
Prime
from them.
bitch.
They want so the Omega Men want to use Superman to help them fight, obviously.
Yeah.
And the Lazarus are trying to hunt him down also to stop him and/or get rid of him.
So he's caught in this power
Man up.
struggle.
Just man up, Talia, and do it yourself. Just take your daddy out. Take that daddy
I
out.
thought it was so. There's a bit where
Take that daddy.
Jimmy gets a photograph of Superman,
Yeah.
but it doesn't blur his face, which I thought was interesting. I don't know.
Well, is it a film
technology-
camera? Maybe if it's a film camera, Soul can't.
No, it's just
an
a phone.
iPhone.
It's like a phone.
Oh, is it? It is a phone. Well, Soul
Talia
maybe.
she does
because
bitch
Soul
slap
was
Jimmy.
off of his body, kind of, right? Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe. I mean, he's wearing it.
Yeah.
The cape's around him. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was weird. Anyway, issue 5, the best issue of this entire run.
So issue 5 is sort of the main thing is the end of Krypton. We
Yeah,
kinda
but
get
it's
that in full force.
Spectacular and horrifying at the same time. Oh, there's also a little like nods to Zod because the military of Krypton is all Zod symbol.
Yeah.
Oh, you can pick up on
So
that.
one detail we left out is that his parents find out that not only is the Science Guild suppressing the end of the planet, but they actually built a bunch of ships to escape themselves. So basically,
Yes, yeah.
the rich people were going to get on their mega
The rich
yachts
people are moving to Mars, and
and
they're going to
sail
leave the
away.
planet.
Yeah.
They know
Yeah.
about the whole thing. They're
It's
just
so
ripping
unlike
out the resources they can get while they still can, and they're going to fly away. And
so unlike our own Earth. That
Did
was-
they know though? Don't they only know to build those ships because of Jor-El's report?
no, well, they
like-
do from the original time he spoke.
Not the report he gave, like
Not the
that
report
got him
he
in
just
jail
gave. That's like
yesterday.
it's about to happen. It was
Oh.
the one where he like
But
got
they, yeah, they've
ostracized
known
from
for a
them.
long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've known for like however many years he's been.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, they've known
What's
for at
all
least long enough for him to marry Laura and also have Clark
Yeah.
and, however long that is, 12, 15, whatever. X amount of years. Yeah, this like the end of Krypton, I thought was one of the best ends of Krypton we've ever seen in comics and or movies.
Well, you just rarely get to see it through Clark's perspective.
Yeah.
We don't. We
There's
still
that,
don't get
but
to see it
also
through
the
Clark's
idea that
perspective.
they're trying to save so many people is so much more interesting. Like
Yeah.
watching the society rip apart and like the Science Guild to like just abandon everyone and like start to like fill up their ships and fly off, and those explode as they're flying off. Like it's just so much actual death as the planet is exploding is crazy. Like there's just so much.
Well,
good
but
shit
also
happening.
recently, the only way we really see the end of Krypton is maybe a single panel of a planet exploding or something, just to
Yeah.
allude
Yeah,
to what
it's always just
happened.
like a
But-
rocket flying away and blam,
Yeah,
or,
we
and like
don't-
honestly,
don't
the
see a
Man of
full
Steel
issue.
movie did a
Yeah.
decent job of showing what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of the best up until this point. I think one of the best like portrayals of like the end of the planet,
Well, the best by far. I mean, better than Man of Steel
because it's got Russell Crowe.
Well, Russell Crowe obviously is amazing.
It's hottie.
But better than Man of Steel, though. I still, to like the first, what was it, 2 episodes of the Superman animated series from the 90s that were just
that's
about
good.
Jor-El on Krypton
Mhm.
were excellent.
Yeah,
Those
true.
were excellent.
That's a good one.
Those
But
were
again, yeah,
almost
and
the best
maybe
episodes
the
of
reason I don't
series.
like that doesn't stand out in my brain is because it's so by rote of the comic. It's just like Jor-El's a scientist and he believes this,
Well,
and he puts
sure,
his kid in a rocket and it flies away. Like, and it's just like that's cool and everything. And I you're right, that is a great depiction of that happening. And there's a lot more detail, and you get to see his parents more.
I just meant that it's rare that we get a full kind of play-by-play view of what was it like when Krypton ended. But we get, and
I love the ship that they're in that Laura built with like however many people they could save. It's like a small
Basically-
handful. Let's call it 50 people. But like
It's like their neighborhood,
What?
basically.
yeah, it's like the people around it. But like as the ship's taking off, a kryptonite rock just rips through the ship.
yeah, from the explosion
Tons
of
of
the
them are dying.
planet, it just punches through the ship.
Yeah, it just rips through the ship. Like watching, and then the ship, because it can fracture and shift and change and rebuild itself, like kind of puts them all in little pods, and they're all flying off. So like now it's like, you maybe lost 20 people, but 30 people are in little ships, all flying off individually, and one by one they just get nailed. It is horrifying. It's like watching Clark, little like let's call him 12, 14, whatever, like in his ship, going like, oh my god, that one has my dog. Okay, that one has my mom. Like looking through the glass window, like looking at like it's horrifying as he's watching them all blow up and shit. Like,
And I'm assuming that little blonde-haired girl that he kind of tries to assure when they're leaving is Supergirl.
It's gotta be, right? Maybe
Like there's gonna be other survivors, surely, from because it's
for
into, like,
sure. Because they hint that he maybe was the only one to get out, but you don't explicitly see all of the pods die. So I think
Right,
it's left
yeah.
open.
you don't. And one of them has crypto in it.
yeah, Krypton definitely makes it.
I would assume so, but maybe not. It's the ultimate, or I'm sorry, not the ultimate. That's Marvel.
Ultimate.
It's the absolute universe. So we don't know.
No,
but yeah,
I
man,
think
like
that'll
watching them all,
be Krypton
watching all those
Supergirl.
ships like blow up and shit as it's going is freaking pretty crazy.
Also, while this is going on, we're getting split scenes of Superman on Earth now, and he
Mhm.
breaks into a Lazarus HQ looking for Chris Smith because he's the Peacemaker that killed all those innocents.
Yeah.
But basically, he beats a bunch of people up and kind of barely stops himself from kind of going all out and killing people.
Yeah, and I thought
And
that
that
was
kind
really
of
cool too.
causes Cal to freak out and realize, like, I'm out of control. I was just about to murder people. So he and Soul kind of leave, but as they're leaving, Soul mentions, Brainiac has reached out to us and wants to talk. So it's kind of
And
setting
there's
that
also
stage.
there's also like a note of like, I mean, I think he says something about it, but or in his internal narration, but I mean, just about feeling helpless, like when he was like watching all of his family and loved ones die, but the key, like the main point, that on Earth he's not helpless anymore, and he can do something about the oppression and like what's going on with people, which is like where his motivation's coming from, and I thought that was really cool.
And also in this, so after he leaves the base and kind of we get that Brainiac thing, the issue ends with him kind of going back to Kansas, and he says, I'm going back home, hinting at, again, it's a play on our expectations because Kansas isn't really his home. It's referring to, Krypton and all that. But anyway, visually, I wanted to point out this page was my favorite interpretation of this cape. Of like him landing in a cloud of smoke cape, and then how it kind of forms around him in this really, it just looks like massive wings,
very
almost
cool,
just undulating like manta ray wings right there. I thought it was a really
kind of
cool
why
visual of the
and it might have been that page, but I mean, like at some point along me reading these issues, I went, I'm kind of on board with this weird dust cape. I kind of like it, but it might be that, like, it's stuff like that. I really love the one in issue 2 with Lois shackled to him, and he's like ripping through the air, and she's kind of being towed along behind him, and it's just swirling around her. It's almost like it's
carrying,
instead of ripping her arm off as he flies away at super speed, it's protecting her, like a little cushion behind her, like pulling her along. And it's just little things, little nuances like that I really started to appreciate the weird dust cape that he's got.
Yeah. Also, back to Crypto, I just love that while everything is ending, I mean, reality is ending all around them. His just tongue's wagging in his little pod. He's happy.
I know.
Behind his parents saying, "We'll love you forever, Cal. We're always with you," as they die, and he's just tongue wagging. Tongue wagging right behind him. Like he's just
also, you know what I just noticed? His ear is up like it is in the new movie. But that was based on Gunn's dog, which has no correlation to this book. I mean, unless Sandoval kind of knew the design of Krypto before going into this, but I thought that was kind of
this Krypto looks pretty different than.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of more stereotypical.
This is a more retriever.
It's interesting that one ear is sticking up. That's like the iconic look of like the new Krypto movie.
But I just like how everyone, like, people are dying by the dozens, and Krypto's just happy boy.
Dog.
Just a happy boy.
Dog. He's a little dog.
You know, all right, what do you guys think about the epilogue?
The epilogue was my favorite issue. Because again, the way it opens is with him. What's the first page? It's literally
8 days since Krypton exploded.
He is going insane.
Yeah, 8 months.
That's just like
he's insane with grief and solitude.
To paint like a picture of where this guy's mental state is, I think if this had been the first page of the comic book, I'd been like, oh, this is fucking interesting. Little boys on a spaceship for like years in space, and he's conscious the entire, like, not the entire time, he sleeps, but like, you would lose your fucking mind. You'd lose your mind right after you just saw your entire planet.
At some point, it says like you slept for several months, right?
Maybe. I think he does go into like deep sleeps, but like he ages quite a bit on the spaceship. He goes from being like a preteen to a true teenager, and
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, 17 months, so not that long, like a year
and a half,
year and a half.
About. That's a long time though to be just like on a, and he wants to die. Isn't he like trying to like?
Yeah, he's trying not to eat, and the ship slash soul, the suit, won't let him.
And then so it's kind of and then the dynamic with the Kents, like he's crash landed as a teenager who can't talk, who has superpowers already that they are, should be scared of. They can't communicate with him.
It was just, I think if that was the first issue,
there's some really good shit in this issue. I still like it at the end though. Like, I like seeing the new character and then getting an answer as to like where his motivation or like what
because
he's feeling
also
versus seeing it. So I like, that's the part where like, I know I like the idea of it being up front, and I get what you're saying where like that would have gotten you more interested right away, but like I kind of was okay with the way it was pieced out to me throughout the arc.
Also the Kents, because I feel it's kind of cool because obviously his relationship to the I mean, his relationship with the Kents is a crucial part of Superman in the main universe. So I do like that they kind of kept it as a tease of who are the Kents, do they exist, what's going on with the farm. And then in issue 6, you kind of see that, they didn't raise him. He just kind of knew them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That was it.
It literally is like, what, a few months, if that, between when he meets them and when...
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple weeks of soul recharging.
It says 2 weeks later when he's like helping them and stuff, and then randomly Soul wakes up around that time. So it's been a couple weeks when Soul wakes up. So only a couple weeks. That's it. I like when he can. I do love when Soul like wakes up, essentially has charged enough to like come back online, kind of thing.
And he just explodes out of that room.
Yeah, and but he just walks up and goes, "Hello, my name is Kal-El. I fixed your tractor." Like kind of, and I love like him just walking up and be like, "I can talk now. Hey, how's it going?" For some reason that's like adorable.
Yeah, well, because he just got the AirPods 3 on the new OS, so they can
translate,
as you speak.
Yeah.
So that's how
Real
he just
time.
had to get the new model. That's how he could talk. Yeah.
Also, it's not him that takes out the drones. It's Soul. Soul's like, "Kal, I detected some manner of remote drones operating in the skies above, which is apparently with apparent weather influencing capabilities. I took the liberty of disabling them." And there's like 17 drones crashing to the ground.
Look, Saul's a good boy. Saul's a good boy.
Good job, Saul.
Good play.
And again, back to that whole alien/Earth parallel. This is another world where a giant mega corporation is using weather drones to keep crops dry and
exactly. Yeah,
make working
and
classes
again, I like the
struggle,
bookend of that note, that moment as well. Holy hell, he's flying.
And then
I don't have much else to say about this issue other than just our boy at the end dripping. He is dripping.
He's got some
loincloth. He does have some sick tats.
You don't just wear whitey tighties going into the Lazarus.
His nipples are
have ceremonial. Very far apart.
His nipples are crazy close to his armpits. Like, it's wild how close.
Well, Patrick, if you revive through Lazarus Pits 800 times, your nipples might not come back.
Fall off. Yeah,
way,
might just be gone.
Because it's like a pet cemetery. You come back a little twisted, from what you were. It's a pet cemetery. You come out raving.
I mean,
there's
the nipple placement is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's also not Sandoval. He didn't draw.
No, it's Carmine Di Giandomenico. It's Italian guy. Everybody's Hispanic or Italian in the comic. Every comic artist these days is Italian or Spanish.
Fucking Italian.
Well, what was that? Time out.
I said
the Italian are a great people. They're artistic people.
The Italian people are all right. I mean, they're okay.
They're fine.
Just in general. Yeah. Just in general. I mean, I prefer
do you guys know who the colorist was on this? And it's
Ulysses
Areola. And Areola is the nipple. So it goes back to Patrick's point about weird nipples.
That's probably why he colored them so prominently.
That's weird.
Ulysses Areola was the nipple.
Odd.
Okay. Anything else to say about last issue? I mean, I don't.
I don't know.
There's a quick beat with Lois still trying to hunt him down and trying to look for Martha.
Yeah, but I don't. I feel like with this comic, we did a lot of just kind of general plot summary, moving on, and I think it's just my reaction to this comic was, it's surface level, very fun to read. I didn't have a lot of opinions or thoughts too much.
Yeah, I think at this point,
thematic content or anything.
Yeah, I wanted to keep reading So like obviously I went 7, 8, 9, and I'm not again current, but like pretty current. But it definitely opens up after this. It starts to like get into like more of like this was kind of like this is the absolute Superman that you're going to be reading, you know, like, and that's not necessarily a great thing, but as a retelling of an origin in this version of him, I thought it was really pretty fun. Is it as good as Absolute Wonder Woman? Absolutely not. But like, you know, because I think that was a more like interesting take and a really interesting retelling of that character. This is still a fun new version of this character, but not to that extreme where I was like, or maybe it's too extreme in ways. I don't know. That, you know, there's bits of it that I was like, you see the costume, and you're like, what are you doing? You know, kind of thing. And then you read it and you're like, okay, never mind. I kind of like it. but it took me a while. Like Wonder Woman, I just went, you look like a badass. And I was just in already, like right off the bat. There's just like little part. It took a while for this to grow on me, I guess is what I'm saying. But I think it has.
One thing is, I don't know if we need to pause or something, because whenever you speak, Joe, I'm hearing this weird like, feedback on my.
What is it?
It's this kind of weird noise of like, does this pass the Bechdel
test?
The Bechdel test. The Bechdel test. Does this pass the Bechdel test? The answer is probably no.
You know, we've never come up to new. This is like episode 84, and we still haven't come up with an actual like. We always said we were going to come up with like a legit song for the Bechdel test, and we've just.
I mean, that's the song.
It doesn't matter because
nothing ever passes.
Nothing ever passes. That's not at all what we need.
What I mean is we need to play it. We need like a record. We need to sit down and all sing.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah, we should do that.
Wait, is it acapella? Anyway, in harmony.
Anyway, this is
harmonize. So we need to sing. We need to get some. We need to Sunny in Philadelphia it up and you know, really harmonize. And, sing a good version of the song, and we'll make a little jingle.
But this doesn't pass. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it does. Though. It does.
It does. You can't count Talia and Lois talking.
You can, but that's not even what I was going to mention.
What were you going to mention?
Well, right in this issue, it's now Smallville, Kansas. Yes, I'm looking for Martha Kent. Is she a resident here? Talking about a woman, not Superman, by the way. Lois is talking to a woman, talking about Martha Kent, and she's in a scene completely alone with just one other woman.
Oh shit!
In pure technicality, it does pass.
It does pass.
Lois is doing some investigative journalism before she's a journalist, and you know, and she talks to a woman about another woman.
It passes.
No, it doesn't. The only reason she's there is to
you keep redefining it. It passes.
Yeah, you can't stretch the rules of the game. Okay, you know, like if it passes, it passes.
Is there room for improvement?
Could it be better? Yeah. Yes. Does it pass? Yes.
Lois.
You know what? We need a sliding scale for the pass.
2 panels of her talking to the receptionist saying,
she also talks to Talia.
This does not pass the Bechdel test. It
does pass. The letter of the law passes. Al,
it doesn't pass the letter of the law.
Is it a 10% pass? Sure.
Nope.
Could it be better? Yeah, 100%.
It's pass fail, dude. It's pass fail.
It's just pass
fails. I disagree. I disagree. This fails.
What? You're changing the rules.
I'm not changing the rules, and you cannot talk me into saying this passes the Bechdel test.
You can't.
What
is passing then for you?
I will not do it. I will.
This isn't even the first time we've had this argument, by the way. There's been other times where me and Patrick are like, Emma Frost totally just talked to the Cuckoos for like all by themselves, and you're like, that doesn't pass. That doesn't pass. And we're like, yes, it does.
I'm not talking about the past. Look, I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about the past.
So clarify for me and Patrick right now what you think means.
How many panels? How many sentences?
Yeah, how many sentences?
It's got to be a meaningful scene. It's got to be an actual scene. It's got to be an actual conversation.
That's so subjective.
Conversation.
This is an actual conversation.
No, walking into a room and saying, I need to speak to Martha Kent is not a conversation. That's a demand.
No, it's not. A conversation is speaking to somebody, they reply, and then you speak back to them, and they reply again, and then they speak back to you, and then you reply.
That
again.
never happens.
That's what's happening on this panel.
Does not. That panel is one back.
I'm looking for this resident here. Oh, who was this person? Oh, this person. Oh, what was that? No. But you might say I'm a friend of the family. That's a scene. That's a full scene. It's a full exchange of dialogue.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
It is a scene.
Nope.
It would be a scene.
It is a scene if this was a movie, it would be a scene in a movie where two women are talking about not Superman.
This isn't. This is a transitional moment to get to her interview with Martha Kent. This is not a real.
We're on alternative facts now. Transitional moment is a scene.
I will not change my mind.
It goes from the flashback.
You don't need to change your mind. You just need to know that you're outvoted 2-3, and
you're wrong.
That's fine. You can outvote me, but I will not give this a pass. That's all I'm saying. You can say whatever words you want out of your mouths. I will not pass this.
Sure.
Well, here's what I'll say: it's pass fail, and 2 out of 3 means it passes. So
yeah.
It passes.
I'm not sure.
The test is pass fail.
I'm sorry, but we don't live in a democracy in the real world, and we don't live in a democracy on the Mobius couch.
2 out of the 3 of us say it passes. It's a pass fail. It passes.
Nope. 2 out of 3 is 66%. That's not 70. That's not even.
Well, that's what I was saying. We need a sliding scale. This shouldn't be pass fail. To your point, well, to agree with you, I would say this shouldn't be a pass-fail test. This should be more of a, well, does it really though? Kind of thing. And I would agree with you. It doesn't. But the technicality of the letter of the law, it does.
Okay, we are now.
It might be a D minus. It might be a D minus, but it's still.
But it passes.
We are now tabling the Bechdel test. It's tabled.
All right, well, let's talk about Snyder Zeus, though.
I was going to say.
I mean,
Jor-El
we only get to see
also looking
Roz
pretty ripped, although he's
shirt.
young. But what about
Laura gives Snyder Zeus energy, so Ra's al Ghul, yeah, outside of the weird nipples, but like.
But we don't see anybody outside of fabric other than Ra's al Ghul. Everyone else.
Well, the only scene is when Clark's saving all the people in the church, and it's like emanating off his body, but it's all hit. Like it's always like rocks are smashing over his shoulders, so you can't really see him. And then there's another moment when
also he's not Clark.
Sorry, Clark. I'm at Kal-El.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of scenes with Clark, God damn it, I did it again. There's a couple of scenes with him not wearing a shirt, but they're always hidden. You can't really see anything, so it's hard to judge. That being said, the suit hugs his body and he looks pretty ripped.
Yeah, they all wear skin tight suits. I feel like Jor-El's pretty buff underneath all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jor-El's great. I mean, he's got a wide frame. He's definitely
wide frame.
I mean, look at this. Look at this Jor-El.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
He's big.
I mean, there's deep shadows in his abs. I mean, like you can't get deep shadows in your abs while wearing clothing unless you're cut.
It'd be great though if it's like a Homelander thing where it's just the suit is shaped that way, but he's just skinny.
The suit is like a girdle.
Yeah, he's just a skinny dude underneath.
It's just making him look like that.
Anything else to say, or should we just kind of wrap it up?
No, I guess we're to recommendations. I suppose.
Recommendations. I don't know. Patrick, after this long conversation, since you started the overall text, how do you feel?
I don't recommend it. I still feel the same as I did when we first started the conversation. I can't really put it into words articulately, but this character did nothing for me. I didn't see Superman here. It's I don't know if they lean too much into the sci-fi or not enough into the sci-fi. I get what you are saying. He does prioritize, helping the downtrodden, and he has empathy, obviously. But there's a few moments where, like, he loses control of his heat vision. There was a moment when he's fighting for the miners, but then Soul is like, "You should leave," and he's like, "Actually, you're right. I should leave." And it's like those moments. I get that he's a younger version, but I'm like, I just feel like Superman wouldn't like do that. I don't know. This didn't hit for me the same way Wonder Woman did. Not to keep like comparing the two, but I feel like it's natural to. I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm not going to continue reading it. However, I would say it wasn't like trash. So if Joe, you were to come back in like a few months and be like, by issue 18, like all these plot points tied together and it's awesome, then I'm gonna pick it back up. But it's not something I'd recommend or something I would necessarily continue with. It was fine. It wasn't spectacular in my opinion. So I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Al?
I also don't recommend it.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to echo exactly what Patrick said. I like Jason Aaron generally. If I later find out by issue 18 it's actually developed into like a pretty interesting read and he's bringing up interesting themes and points, I'd believe it and say maybe get like an omnibus collection of 1 through 18, something like that. But just in terms of what we have here as like a first 6 issues, again, it's very readable, but I just don't think there's anything there that really grabbed me or shouted, "Oh, you've got to tell everybody to read this. This is an amazing new reimagining of Superman."
Right.
I just didn't think there was enough there so far. But I'll do a little asterisk of, depending on how this fleshes out as an ongoing series, I could maybe come back to it and recommend it later on. But for right now, I wouldn't really point it out.
Yeah, by like issue 18, you might be like, "Oh, never mind." Like those first 6 issues really laid the groundwork for what came later.
Right. Sure.
Yeah,
but for right now, there's not enough there for me to really like run to all my friends and say, "You guys have to read this new Superman."
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair. I am going to recommend it, but with the caveat of like, it is an absolute comic. Like it's a weird retelling of the story. So if you're looking for something like that, it's great. I enjoyed the art. The art was really solid throughout, even with the fill-in artist in issue 6. I really liked Sandoval's art. Jason, I don't know that the story grabbed me particularly well, like Wonder Woman did. Absolute Wonder Woman, but I did really love like all the Krypton bits, man. I really I think that's what's making me sway in the positive. It's like all those. The interesting idea of letting him grow up on Krypton for once, at least a little, mostly, was really cool. And I really enjoyed the characters there. And I really enjoyed just watching what unfolded on that planet and how it was correlating with what he was dealing with on Earth at the same time. Those were fun things to play with. And I have read past this. So I've read 7, 8, 9, or 10. I don't know. I'm further along, obviously. But so maybe that's coloring my opinion a little bit. But I overall I still liked it. I like, if it's got good art and it's got a decent story, like I'm kind of in. Like it doesn't take a lot to get me into a Superman book, but like but I really enjoyed. I don't love some of the reimaginings of the characters on Earth, but all the reimaginings of the characters on Krypton I really enjoyed. I think that kind of like sells it for me. The one bit I would say, like, what Patty, you said something about like the suit. Oh yeah, like he lost control, or not the heat vision part, but something about the suit. Oh, he wasn't protecting one point where
people.
But yeah, and I think that's kind of, and I mentioned it earlier, or maybe that was before we started, but there's a part where he does argue with Soul more and more because he's like, no, I do need to stay and protect. Like the suit's trying to get him to leave again, I think, and that's kind of, so that is coming into play later. And like I said, that was kind of one of the main things I really liked about it was his weird relationship with his suit AI, and it being his kind of fortress of solitude. I thought it was kind of a fun. That in and of itself was kind of a fun take. But yeah, that's why. Yeah. So right. 2 out of 3. So Al, the way this works is that's a fail overall though, because like 2 of the 3 of us didn't recommend it.
I don't.
Anyway,
what did the Lollipop Guild have to say about that?
The Lollipop Guild has made its case.
Okay.
Yeah, losing case.
All right. Well, I think we did comics, boys. I think we won.
All right. Good journey, Couchers. Good journey. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.